Let's get this shit. I really like this exchange. It's a push slice after a missed thrust, little bit of hand shoving, and the push slice interrupts Pepin's riposte, keeps me in the 4 and sets me up for the counter against the Oberhau with the Zwerg, which in this situation is kind of like the Zwerg against Zwerg counter where you come underneath, where Danzig says, you come in des before, or in German, so komm in des vor, which is a funny combination of words and really nerdy humor. The Tyrnhaw odd looks nice, but the devil is really in the detail here, which is the footwork. I start out with a long point, but I retract the long point into a Fomtag with a switch step. The retracting of the long point kind of makes me seem not as close because I remove the thread, and I use that to do a switch step where I creep into range just a touch to set myself up for the Tyrnhaw, because my opponent really looks like throwing an Oberhau right now, and I'm kind of expecting to win the overbind because I'm taller. I want to highlight this point here from Max. While Max does slip, he does recover and make a touch from there, so let's see why. When he recovers from that step, he pulls his foot back behind his center of gravity, ready to push off to perform a big spring motion and yeah, land the touch out of that difficult situation. Really nice action from Max again. Look at his front foot, the left front foot, which he pulls in a bit closer to get it behind his center of gravity again to push off for the thrust. Notice that little Zwerg from the bind here. This is so funny, I have to comment on this. Lots of stuff happening here without any blade contact. I open up with a Streich. I often do this to mentally pressure my opponents. A bit later I throw this probing cut, which triggers the one-handed thrust from Max here. I parry it, but my riposte doesn't land. Then I stick my point in his face. I'm like, strike this bitch away so I can take it off above, strike to the other side. This often works because people will strike threats away, so you can then go to the other side, cut around really safely. But he doesn't fall for it because I don't sell the threat good enough. So Max goes for the left overhaul, but the cut falls short. I still want to parry it, kind of in a right fluke position. Max is like, oh damn, I'm completely open on my left side, so he goes for a parry. I see it and use the momentum that I have from moving into right fluke to propel that into a left cut. The face of the judge is just hilarious, because she can't call the touches because they were just too light and we were just exhausted. We're like, please, call it. Call it. Then she's explaining to us, yeah, the hits were too touchy, which I agree with, 100%. Max just adapted too good against me in this match. I always did these winds into left ox, but they just weren't working for me anymore. It's been something I've been working on a lot, but I've just pulled them off too often at this point in this match, and he was just adapted to them and countered me. So I just couldn't keep the bind, which would have been necessary to prevent this left strike from below, for example. It's just a cramp. Take it like a champ. Yeah, so he cramped in the middle of the match, took a magnesium shot, and then went back to it.